What's up, guys? We are back. Fitness Profit Multiplier, Anthony and Jimmy. And today we're discussing the best upsells for your fitness business. I love this one because no one talks about like upsells. And upsells are a really, really good part of your business and a quick way to make good profit because, as the saying goes, once you have a client in and they buy more stuff, they become more valuable. And typically, the second, third, fourth sale that you make to that same person is always more profit with that. So we want to talk about upsells today and what you should be doing to upsell people. But Big Jimmy, upsells, man. Well, I'm trying to think like when did I start implementing upsells into my business? Because I think upsells in fitness businesses are kind of tough, right? Like you have like a
Yeah.
membership that they buy, and it's like, what else are you gonna sell? And like, yes, you could ascend them to another level, and technically that's kind of like an upsell, but
Right.
it's still part of your membership. But what else can you sell your clients? And it's just I'm trying to think of like when I actually started doing upsells. I'd probably say, I haven't had that much time doing that. I mean, between the virus that went around, everything kind of got like stopped. I was doing it a little bit before that, then that happened, and you're just trying to hang on for dear life. And then post that now it's like you're starting to implement these things again. So,
Yeah.
I'd probably say for a good 4 or 5 years of upsell experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you open a gym and you go, I'm a trainer and I just want to train people. And you don't think about the other ways you can generate revenue from your members through things that may not be your core service, right? And I was the same way for the longest time in the beginning. I barely had apparel or any of these other things, right? It was so funny because we look at some of the ways that we got some of these items to upsell or engineered some of these things to upsell in the beginning. And in the beginning, it was wildly not profitable the way we were doing it. But now it's much better because we've kind of figured out and dialed in some ways to actually make it profitable. But there's things that your members are going to spend money on, right? Just because you tapped into their training wallet doesn't mean you've tapped into their other wallets they have, right? I don't know where I heard this, but everybody's got a wallet for something else, right? They've got a wallet for something different. So they have their wallet for their car payment, they have their wallet for their fitness, they have their wallet for their going out to eat, they have their wallet for their kids, they have their wallet for, health and wellness or whatever it may be. And so there's different wallets you can tap into in addition to the trainer wallet. And that's really what or the training wallet. And that's really what we're going to talk about today, in addition to how you can just give people a better service for more money, right? So that's really, just ascension, but we still want to talk about it, right?
Yeah. But guys, before I actually forgot to mention this, we started our own Facebook group. So if you click that link below, I wish I knew the link off my head, but I think it's like facebook.com/groups/micro gym mastery. I think that's it. But
Profit
you can click the
mastery.
profit
Micro
mastery. Thank
profit
you.
mastery. Yeah.
Thank you. So you can click that link below in the description and you'll find that you could join. We're going to start that group up and get some good, highly motivated gym owners in there again, I want to create like a hub for you guys so you guys can go and have resources, can ask questions. So click that link below and you can join that Facebook group. I mean, it's a Facebook group. Most of you should have Facebook at this point. So yeah, click that link below. But number one, let's get into it. The number one upsells, and I like this one a lot, and it's one of our biggest upsells, is nutrition coaching. Jimmy does more custom coaching. So any type of coaching add-on is basically the first upsell. And I love this one because it taps right into that same category you're already doing. It's an upsell to, okay, well, you're doing your basic training membership with us. Do you want to add on nutrition? And that's kind of like the same thing that McDonald's play. McDonald's is, okay, here's the burger. Do you want fries with that? Now you have the ability to say, okay, do you want nutrition with that? Whereas I think with the nutrition, the custom programming, it's a little bit harder to explain. But with the nutrition, it's a quick add-on, right? So do you want to do nutrition with that? Do you want to do nutrition coaching with that? So that's a really, really good upsell. And I really like the nutrition coaching element. And there's so many different ways to do this. I've seen a lot of gyms do it totally wrong. And I've seen gyms do it totally like easy and flows. And you have to make sure that if you want these things to be profitable, it has to make sense. But Jimmy, I want you to talk. I could come back and I'll talk about nutrition coaching in a second. But why
Yeah.
don't you talk about custom programming and how you
Oh,
kind of
totally.
upsell that and kind of how that works? So that's a little different than what I just explained. But again, it's in the same, they kind of go hand in hand, right?
They do, right? And they're priced very similarly, right? So the cool thing about the nutrition, like when you talk about the nutrition coaching, is a lot of times I find that is really sold on the front end, and the custom programming is sold later, right? So what you use the custom programming for is you're going to have a general program for, like, we call it our house programming, right? So all of our members are going to operate on the same house programming, which is kind of a 4-month cycle. You know, we don't need to get into the details of it, but every 4 months it changes over, and people are happy and they strength train predominantly, blah, blah. So, but it's not that customized, right? It's tailored, but it's not that customized. So when people get to a point where they've advanced in our system and they've gone through maybe 2 cycles, 1 or 2 cycles of our like kind of 4-month house programming, we talk to them and we say, how's the training going? Da, 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 this and then the other thing. And they're like, well, I have some of these goals. It's like, okay, well, let's sit down with the coach and talk about them. So we talk about these goals and we go, well, Mrs. Jones, the best thing for you at this point, the way for us to help you out best is to better customize your experience, right? So one of our coaches is going to design you a program that's specific to you with the goals that you have for your workouts inside and outside the gym. For custom programming, it's $50 additional. And that coach is going to be your liaison to make sure that you're on the ball and staying accountable and doing your workouts inside and outside the gym and actually being successful. Because you're past this point of the house programming now. You need more customization, right? And people love it. And people that start on custom programming very rarely come off of custom programming, right? They start doing it, and just that additional layer of service is so much better for that client experience that it's just an additional $50 a month that we get out of a client that is getting a better service, is getting that feeling of that customization and this and that. And it doesn't take my trainers a ton of time to do it, right? So it's a pretty profitable action because they have templated training blocks that they modify based upon that client's needs. So they're not reinventing the wheel every time. So that's the upsell that kind of happens as you build a relationship with that client to give them better service over time.
So what's it look like on the back end, man? I want to talk about the back end of that. So, okay, now you're selling the custom program. How much time does it take for your coaches? Because, you know, I could see somebody who's okay, I'm going to implement this and I'll charge $50 a month for it. And then they'll spend, because I know trainers love to program. They just love it. It's like part of their thing. They love to program. And they'll spend hours programming for Mrs. Jones, who's a 50-year-old woman who really doesn't need programming. A templated approach is always the best in someone like that, and you just modify it based on their needs. But yeah, what's that look like on the back end, and how much time should it take max? So this way someone listening to this knows, okay, if I'm going to do this, it's going to take me X.
So let's see, how many people do we have on custom? It's hard for me to know how many people we have on custom, but typically it's going to take anywhere between, you know, when we get that first initial conversation with that person about jumping on custom, that first initial conversation, we have to have that conversation with them, which is probably 15 to 30 minutes, right? Then we have to pull the programming and customize it. So that's probably another 30 minutes on the front end. So we're probably doing an hour on the front end, maybe an hour and a half to get somebody dialed in to that system. And then every month it's just a couple of text check-ins, talking to them in the gym, and then modifying their training block according to the template, because our templates are built out for like 4 months, right? So we have our templated process and we know their specifics because we write all those things down. And then basically once a month, my training staff goes in and modifies the next block of training, which for each client after the initial onboarding probably is maybe 15 minutes per client at that point, with a little bit of communication on top of that. So they're probably spending maybe 30 minutes a month on it, I would say, for each client. if they're really efficient at it. If they don't really know what they're doing programming wise and they need help and stuff like that, that's a different story. But it is pretty profitable in that way if you can get your team pretty proficient at their ability to efficiently write these programs and do this, depending on the complexity of the program. But for the most part, 15, maybe 20 minutes a month per program writing, and then another 15 to 20 per client communication.
Yeah, awesome. So nutrition coaching wise, now, again, like I said, that's probably my favorite one. And I used to include nutrition coaching. That was part of my program. I used to include it. But then we'd have people who just never followed it, and they would complain that they never followed it. Oh, I'm paying for it. I'm not using it. So I said, you know what? I have to start charging for nutrition. So that's where the whole upsell began with that. Do you want nutrition with that? That's a saying in the gym. It's kind of like a joke. Do you want nutrition with that? So we charge $100 a month for nutrition coaching. Very, very profitable. We have a template that's already built out for meal plans. And then based on the person, the trainer has a system on, you plug in certain metrics, it spits out what their numbers should be. Then the trainer just takes the template that we made, imports this person's custom numbers, and then we use an app to help everyone to monitor everyone's nutrition. So it doesn't take a lot of time. It's wildly profitable. And clients get better results because, as we know, the nutrition component is really, really important. 70% of their results are going to come from what they eat. So we know how important the nutrition end of it is. But at the same time, people don't understand that. And they're not always ready for it initially. That's something that I've learned. So giving them the option, do you want to do nutrition with that, has been wildly a profitable switch that we have made. And again, it boils down into two separate buckets for them. So you're tapping into their, like Jimmy said, their fitness wallet, and now you're tapping into their nutrition wallet. So now you got two of their wallets out, and yeah, it's two separate things. And then if at any point they want to change the nutrition, they could change it. They could get rid of it. They know what to do now, and they won't have coaching. So it's very, very simple there. So that's it. So that's the first one: nutrition coaching and customized programming. And one of the things too, I just want to touch back to what Jimmy said too, custom programming. When you explain it the way Jimmy explains it, it makes it a lot easier. So make sure that you explain it to them later on. So use the nutrition one up front, and then do the coaching one on the back end for other meetings.
So the nutrition up front is so just like, it's the perfect analogy is like, you want fries with that? Because that's how it works for us too. It's like, well, you have this fat loss goal. Nutrition is going to be the thing that's going to help you the best. So they've already decided on the frequency they're going to come in for. And then you just slide it in there and you just say it and just try it. Like if you're listening to this right now and you're not doing a nutrition coaching upsell, you don't even have to build anything out to start. Like you don't have to have anything structured. Just say that line in your next sales meeting and see what happens. People will take you up on it. And Anthony charges 100, right? You could charge less to start just so you're more comfortable with it and just get those closes and help those people out, right? It's just a little bit extra you can get on the front. Very powerful. So I just want to.
What do you charge for nutrition coaching?
We do 50.
Okay. So it's 50 for both of you. If they end up doing both, it's $100.
Right. If they end up doing both, it's $100, right? So, and then we have it like kind of roped into our top tier program, which is like wildly more expensive than our other program. So it kind of was all included in there. But yeah, we just do 50 because we do it a little differently than you guys do. We do more like, we have our team member does like Loom videos for each member once a week. So he'll like get into their MyFitnessPal, check all their stuff in front of them, kind of send them a Loom video of it, tell them what suggestions he has for them to change what they were doing that week, and then kind of move on from there. And then when we start them with kind of a sample meal plan to follow and a recipe guidebook. We do customize their macros in the beginning, but then it's kind of from there, it's mostly accountability and just like making sure that they're tracking properly, enough protein, all that kind of stuff. But so anyway, let's continue. But
all right, number 2, we got supplements. Supplements I like. I don't think that I'm doing them good enough. I have a wide array of my own. So supplements, let's just start with that. So supplements are a great upsell because your clients are going out there and they're buying supplements. They're going to GNC right after they meet you, they're walking their butts over to GNC or Amazon, and they're buying supplements. Oh, I started a gym. I got to take some supplements. What should I take? They type in fat loss supplements and they buy the first 3 items. It's typically what happens. So why not make that happen at your facility? And now again, you're tapping into that other wallet. And people will spend way more on supplements than they will on training, which is just crazy and bizarre the way it works. But that's just the way it works. They believe supplements are going to help them. So you should be that pillar person to help them make that decision with supplements. The right time to sell supplements, I think, is always at a second meeting. So we have a second meeting set up for clients. Clients come in, they do their first initial one. And then once they sign up, they get a second meeting. And during that second meeting is kind of like when we talk about supplements and things like that. But supplements are a great way to add profit to the gym, but you have to do it right. I like selling supplements that are private labeled because then they can't go on Amazon and price compare. And that's exactly what you don't want to happen. Because if I was, and I've done this before, I've tried to sell like amino acids that I bought and clients like it and then they go on Amazon and buy it. I like it so that they have to come to me to buy that. So that's the way I do it. I have a private supplementer. I've been doing that since 2008. I've been doing it for a very, very long time with them. And yeah, I have, so right now I have 5 different flavors of protein powder that we do. We do branched chain amino acids, which I'm probably going to reformulate. We do a pre-workout and we do like a daily green. So those are our products. And that's the way we do it. And during that second meeting, we talk about supplements and what they should be taking. And that's kind of when we make the suggestion, okay, here, this is what I would recommend doing. I think there is a little bit better way to do it. I think if you can get clients on kind of like a supplement membership and a subscribe and save exactly the same way Amazon does. I haven't had the time to dive into that and figure that one out yet, but I think that that's probably the best way to do it. Because with supplements, it's really annoying because you have to keep stock of them, especially like the more flavors you do and, you know, everything has to stay in stock. So that's like the one downfall to it. And you have to outlay that money up front, but it's definitely very, very profitable back end thing because they're going to buy the supplements anyway. So you might as well have them come to you and buy the supplements instead of going to Amazon and GNC and giving somebody else that money. Might as well just be the one-stop shop for them.
They got that they have the supplement wallet, guys. The supplement wallet is there. You have not tapped into the supplement wallet when you sell them training. So I agree wholeheartedly. Second meeting is the time, right? That's the time to bring up the supplements because a lot of times in the second meeting, you're talking a little bit more about nutrition and what it takes for them to achieve their goals, giving them a little bit more onboarding to the gym, that kind of thing. And it's opportune time to get those supplements in their hands and tell them and talk to them about the benefits of each supplement, right? We do the same thing. We do private label, just like Anthony does. Anthony actually used the same protein company for our protein. But
you use my protein.
I use your sorry.
Yeah, get that right, man. Get that right.
So we use the same company for that. And then I sell a couple of different things. We actually do pretty well with it's funny. We do pretty well with our magnesium and our pre-workout, which are basically like the opposite of each other because the magnesium is supposed to help them sleep and the pre-workout's going to keep them awake. But those are the supplements that sell the best for us. And the magnesiums are like a really easy sell. We're actually selling a lot of creatine right now, which is kind of funny. But we just started talking to the women about it. And this is like a faux pas, something that we screwed up in the beginning with supplements is we ordered all this creatine and then I didn't explain it well enough to my clients. And they were like, oh, well, creatine makes you bulky, so I don't want it. And then now we're explaining to people that it helps with antidepressant medication and it makes sure that you fight off the common cold and all this research that's been done on creatine that I didn't bring to the forefront because people were so oh, I don't want to get bulky about it. So just because you train women doesn't mean you can't older women doesn't mean you can't sell creatine too, right? So try and think about these things, and it actually sells pretty quick for us. So keep that in mind. There's other things that we can sell in there that'll help people, but yeah, it's second meeting, it's presenting it, and it's just getting it out there to them.
Yeah, like I said, I think you could do it better if you were really exploratory. I think you should definitely try to figure out a subscribe and save. I would definitely mark the protein up. So one of the things too is you're going to have inventory for a little bit. It might sit. So you're going to want to get rid of the inventory and you're going to want to discount it. You don't want to discount it because when you discount something that people are going to be used to paying the discounted price, So mark your protein up or mark your supplements up. So this way, if you do discount, you still walk away with profit. And definitely explore and practice and figure out a way to do a subscribe and save, because I think that that's the best way to go. Because once you get clients on the supplements, then they're consistently on it. Whereas the way we're doing it, it's just kind of one-off sales. So I definitely got to figure that out. I just haven't had time to sit down and figure that out. I mean, this is the beautiful part about like owning your own business, is you kind of can focus on the things that you want to focus on.
Right.
So if you're really trying to make, and you can make this wildly profitable and have like a second business if you do it right. So if you have the time and you want to sit down and explore that, if you've had that currently, message us. I would love to talk to you, because I would love to find out, pick your brain on how you do that and what you do. So I'm just curious about that too. So number 3, and this one I think is really cool for a lot of different reasons. So apparel, right? Selling apparel to your clients, the ultimate way of omnipresence. And omnipresence just means like you're always kind of in their mind without them thinking about it. Now, think about it. When you pull out a shirt from your drawer and it has your gym's logo on it, you're kind of thinking about the gym when you put that shirt on. People will say that, oh, yeah, it's advertising. It's advertising. Apparel's not really advertising. Apparel is more of a reminder for your client. I think it was Orange Theory I think it was Orange Theory. I can't remember if it was Orange Theory or CrossFit, but they did a study where they showed that if a client wears a shirt, a branded shirt, within the first couple of visits, they're going to stay like 3 times more than the person who didn't do that. It was some ridiculous. I don't remember who did it, but it was really cool, like information. So I like apparel. I like selling apparel because, again, it's omnipresence. It's a way to add profit to the gym, and it's just a way for your clients to think about you. Now, the key with apparel is you have to be very, very good at picking stuff. It's not just as simple as making a shirt. It's got to be something that people are going to want to wear, something that's cool looking, something that's kind of unique, something seasonal, obviously. Like we did tank tops in the winter. We did tank tops in the summer, and people like the tank tops. We did Razorbacks this year. We never did Razorbacks before. And oddly enough, they didn't sell as good as the regular tank tops we sold last year. So I still have inventory of those, which kind of sucks. So put them in the closet. I'll pull them out next summer. But, again, you got to have space for some of these upsells, especially like the supplements and the apparel. You have to have space to kind of store some of this stuff, because that will happen where you don't sell all of it and you got to hold on to it. But I like apparel for the profit, and I like apparel for just omnipresence and just reminding them of, the gym. And that's why I think it's cool to come up with different logos. Like a lot of the shirts that I wear are just branded, with our gym. But the new line of stuff that we're doing is cool. Like, different stuff. Like I have sayings on some of them now. Like we do ones for like different fundraisers that we're doing. So we're doing we did a breast cancer one, and it said fight cancer, and it had the AB logo, and it had like the A in the cancer was the A from the AB, like really cool stuff that people see it and they're like, oh, I want that. So I think that you have to make the apparel cool that people are actually going to wear, but also make it so that when they pull it out of their drawer, they think of you.
Right. And the psychological components are huge with getting somebody to be committed to your fitness business, right? And be part of the family there. So Anthony mentioning that is super powerful. Now, there's a couple of things that we run into with apparel, and the apparel is one of these things that you may not be making a huge amount of profit on, right? Because you have stock that sits in the back room that people don't buy. How much are you really making per item if you're only selling half of the items that you purchase, right? Like there's different things that come along with apparel. But the cool thing about apparel, and we talked about marking up protein before, right? The cool thing about apparel is you mark it up, and then once a year, you have a sale to get rid of all your stock, right? And then you restock. So you can at least make some money back on each item. If you're making $5 to $8 back on each item, you're doing pretty good apparel wise. When we talk about the loss rate from some of the stuff that, you give out for free for whatever it may be, right? Somebody's doing a review, you give them a free t-shirt or whatever it may be. You kind of like lose some money out on that. So on the aggregate, if you're making between $5 and $8 total, some of our apparel items we're making 10 or 15.
Well,
But
Jimmy, wait, I want to say something like, yeah, we're talking about upsells in a sense of like making profit, but I
yeah,
think you also get the upsell and the profit and the benefit from more that omnipresence that you're going to get. So yeah,
exactly.
$5 is cool, but you're going to get more on that omnipresence and being in their forefront of their mind. So I would take the loss on a shirt just for the
100%.
fact that I'm in their drawers.
Yeah. And that's kind of the point, right? That we're trying to make is just because your profit is not directly related to the apparel item, your profit is the fact that somebody that's wearing that shirt or purchasing that shirt on a regular basis is staying longer. That's the power of apparel, right? Somebody that purchases an item from your facility that says, hey, I am your brand. They are branding themselves with you out in the city. They're taking pride in what they're doing and they're going to stay longer, right? So getting that apparel in their hands and getting them to buy it or giving them a free t-shirt when they come in, right, is a great way to build retention. And then you can always have an end of the year sale like we do, where we knock 15% off all of our apparel in December. And then parents will buy stuff for their kids, and we clear our shelves that way. We mark it up enough that the 15% we're still profitable on each item. So, and we just kind of clear our shelves and then order new stuff the next year. So
That's actually a really good idea. I never thought to even do that. An end of year sale. That's a really good idea. December's a perfect time for it too. So that's,
yeah, I
I
mean,
like
and
that.
every
I like
other
that a
apparel
lot.
store does the same thing, right? Every other outfitter, every other retailer does the same thing. They get rid of old stock to bring in new stock. And so I'm like, shoot, let's just mark it up enough that 15% decrease in price doesn't affect us all that negatively. And we're still making a little bit on each item. So we want to make a little bit, because I mean, you at least got to make enough for the effort that your staff goes through to get the stuff, right? And then we just get rid of it all. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Guys, so let's start making some profit. Implement at least, here's my action item for the day for you guys. Implement at least one of these into your business today. So if you don't do nutrition coaching now, offer that. If you do nutrition coaching, offer customized programming. Do that today. If you feel like diving down the rabbit hole with private supplements, do that. Order shirts. You could go on Custom Ink. Just buy a bunch of shirts and sell them. That's it. I mean, it's that easy. Use them as giveaways, upsells in your business, make your clients stick more. And that's ultimately what all of these things do. So now think about it, guys. Someone comes in, they want to buy membership. They join the gym, right? They start coming to us 3 times a week. So now they're coming to the gym 3 times a week. So now they have shirts. So not only are they the fitness component, they have to come to us, but now I have space in their house, their drawers, right? Shirts and what they're wearing. Then they buy supplements. So now I'm in their cabinet, I'm in their drawers, I'm on their keys. There's like little stupid things that it's kind of like that brand awareness, and they're like, they become part of the brand and they wear it with pride. So implement these things in, guys. And if you love any of the things you're hearing, please leave us a 5-star review on wherever you're listening. That helps us to get the word out there. And if you're interested in having us help you get to that next level, click that link below, book your call, join our Facebook group, Anthony and Jimmy, Fitness Profit Multiplier, and we are out.